The body's abilities can be, and frequently are, over-evaluated. You do way too much thinking about what your body can and cannot do. And in all honesty, your body can do nothing apart from the mind, and the mind is capable of all things when it is submitted to its creator. Period. I mean, you could kill the whole conversation. Like, can I do? I don't know, can you? In your mind, can you? If you can in your mind, then you can in the body. If you can't see it for yourself in the mind, then you might as well not exhaust your energy in the physical, draining your body, attempting to do something that you've already decided up top is impossible for you. However, it is almost impossible to deny its existence in this world. Those who do so are engaging in a particularly unworthy form of denial. The term unworthy here implies only that it is not necessary to protect the mind by denying the unmindful. You don't have to do that. You have been tolerating and submitting to a fragileness of your mind that is not really there. You perceive yourself to be fragile because you've been living by these pictures. You've been ego hopping. You've been connecting yourself to people who can tell you the things externally that you long to know on the inside. And it works for some time. You can live off of their sweet nothings for some time. But eventually, you come to a place in the script that you couldn't predict. They say something that they didn't know would be so hurtful, so memorable, and the whole narrative crumbles. And you need a whole new cast, a whole new plot. And you the same insecure director that you were on the last set, needing everybody to operate in accordance with what you think should be happening right now in order for the production to go forward. If one denies this unfortunate aspect of the mind's power, one is also denying the power itself. All material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. I make herbal teas. I make all natural organic products that can be used to heal the body. And A Course in Miracles tells us right here that all material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. You think that there's something out here in this world apart from mind that is within matter that mind has no control over, that can be embraced or accepted by you, taken, and you receive the benefits. Do you understand that in the Garden of Eden, we're looking at atom, we're looking at matter being made, and then Eve comes on the picture, and we're looking at matter being given the ability to have logic and thought. And right after Eve pop on the scene, inside of this mythological setting that we love to talk about because it was juicy and it was full of backbiting and outcasting and violence and sex and lies, just like we like it. It reminded us, the religious interpretation of Genesis reminded us so much of the life that we live and the assumptions that we have taken and placed on a higher invisible deity that is ready to judge you while never missing any step or misstep that you make. We could relate so much to it. We saw so much of ourselves there, and it wasn't anywhere near what the scripture was trying to communicate. Eve symbolized man's ability, women's ability to have logic and thought. It was Eve who entertained the serpent, who introduced the idea that maybe God wasn't so good and didn't extend so fully what had been given so freely. It wasn't matter. It was undisciplined, untrained, unsubmitted, erroneous thought that caused what we know to be the fall of all mankind. And if that's the case in Genesis, then what do you think your thoughtfulness and your logic and reason leads you to today? Does it not lead to the fall of man? It was a picture, not of what took place, but what was happening right now within you, within me. This is the first step in believing that the body makes its own illness. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about the fact that you wake up and you check your body to see if your body has made its own illness overnight? You ever thought about the fact that when you be in the shower, you were trained and taught to assess your body to see if your body had came up with its own illness? Your body has never created anything. You, in these illusions, or you, in these principles of truth that you carry, create your world as you know it. They create the condition of your container as you know it. And as you see what you see in the physical, it is but an indication, a symbol of what is within. And you should be constantly, consciously assessing the physical, not for physical symptoms and circumstances. You should be assessing the physical, looking for what lies below. Is what lies below based in truth and real and love? Or is what lies below based in illusion, fear, separation, and deception? It is the second misstep to attempt to heal the body through non-creative agents. It does not follow, however, that the use of such agents for corrective purposes is evil. Sometimes the illness has a sufficiently strong hold over the mind to render a person temporarily inaccessible to the atonement. What is the only thing that can stop you from receiving the atonement? You having something in your sight that's so big and requires so much of your attention that you have yet to acknowledge what has already always been done for you. That's where we live. And it be the most pettiest of things that becomes the biggest or big enough of a distraction for us to miss a gift the size of the entire universe. Do you understand how blind we have to be? And the whole time we've been missing the atonement, focused on petty, tiny distractions, we've been under the assumption that we can see, which is a bigger indication of the blindness, the spiritual blindness that we have lived with. If you'd had scales on your eyes from the time that you were born, would you know that you were blind, or would you think that your world appeared as the scales? So until the scales fall off and you can see the world around you for what it is, like you've never seen it before, would you know that your vision was obstructed? In this case, it may be wise to utilize a compromise approach to mind and body, in which something from the outside is temporarily given healing belief. This is because the last thing that can help the non-right-minded or the sick is an increase in fear. They are already in a fear-weakened state. Fear has caused you to be weak enough that your body is subjectable to an attack. I seen this principle the other night in a very weird way, and I'm not ashamed to share it with you because we all do silly stuff. Anybody in front of you trying to convince you that they are so healed and so one with God that they have put down the ability to do pointless, brain dead things is probably somebody that you should get away from ASAP, because you're not around somebody who's transparent, honest, and beyond the fear of being rejected. You're around another pretender, and you need to get away from them and go and connect with yourself and deal with the pretender and the actor in you, so that the next time you go out to partner with somebody, you don't find yourself in front of another reflection that you are condemning as dumb, foolish, and not ready for something real. Remember, all judgments return back to the sender. So when you sit down across the table from them people that you got out on a date to see if they your soulmate, and at the end of the night you are dissatisfied, discontent, and have no interest in moving forward with them, when you get on that phone and you're talking to your homegirl or your homeboy and y'all chopping it up, or you sending a text message or whatever it is, understand everything that you are saying about that person that you are rejecting returns to you. So anyway, I was sitting on the porch, it's where I shoot some of the content, and I had my lighter in my hand, and I seen a bug fly and just land like right in front of me. And I took the lighter and I burnt the bug. But the bug didn't die, it just like flipped over. Follow with me. I know it sounds ridiculous, but follow with me. It's a picture to be seen of value. Now, if you judge me for burning the bug, then you're going to miss the whole picture. Goofy. The bug flipped over and the bug was hurt. All right. So I kind of went on about my night. The next night, matter of fact, I sat back down at the same table and the same bug was still turned over on its back, trying to flip itself over. So now I'm in a whole different mindset. I'm in a whole different place. The same person that burnt the bug last night, I feel compassion for the bug, and I flip the bug over, and the bug starts to limp across the table, seemingly appreciative, but it kept going like back and forth, like it was lost. So I figured that the bug was probably looking for some vegetation, some grass. So I took the bug and just knocked it off the table. Again, the bug seemed appreciative. The bug went to limping off pretty fast. So about 15-20 minutes later, I looked over to my right and I looked down at the ground and I seen the bug. And the bug had got wrapped up in one of the smallest spider webs that I'd ever seen, and a tiny spider was able to wrap a web around it and capture it. And once again, this bug was fighting for its life. And that's a perfect representation inside of a terrible story. Like I'll make sure I don't burn no more bugs. All right, I got y'all. But it's a perfect picture of the life that we've been living that is more accurately to call death. We've been limping around in a weakened state, allowing for very weak predators that are not stronger than us, have no business wrapping us in their webs, capturing us, and knocking us off of our course. But it's the weakened state that fear puts us in that allows for us to be captured by such weak predators. You have been made prey by predators that you were designed to step on. But you've been walking around in a compromised state. And because you're in that compromised state, you be needing some comforts. And those comforts come from the very ones who inflict suffering and harm and increase your belief in separation and lack.